Fallout New Vegas. Despite being out for almost 13 years now, and the graphics considered ancient, it's commonly known as one of the best open world games ever made, and even more so out of the Fallout franchise. So, is the game still fun? To find this out, I'm going to be completing Fallout New Vegas in 2023. The game starts off with Egghead stealing your poker chip and kindly shooting you in the face, only to wake up in this old man's house known as Doc Mitchell, who somehow unshot your face and put it back together, where you name your character something sensible, like Gibble Pibbleschmid, and select your stats. I had no idea what was good, so I picked an awful build by accident, followed up by scoring full marks on Doc Mitchell's autism test, where I had to answer with the first thing that came to mind. So for Dog, I answered dinner, for house, demolish, night, silencer, bandit, reasonable, light, torch, and lastly mother, human shield. For my skills, I selected guns, speech, and survival, and for traits, good-natured, loose cannon. Doc Mitchell had told me Egghead stole my platinum chip, and I was gifted a Pip-Boy before heading out to meet the townsfolk. I went and greeted Victor, who was the one that found me when I was shot in the head, and was greeted by Sunny Smiles, who had a shockingly emotive facial expression. I shot some sarsaparilla bottles, and made my way over to Prim, where I ended up fucking with this NCR ranger, making him chase me up a hill, followed by a jump scare. After that, I made my way into Prim, killing the escaped convicts outside, and speaking with Johnson Nash, who told me to go save Deputy Beagle, who had been captured. So, I made my way into where he was captured, and ready? Everyone was dead. And now I had an incinerator from killing one. Don't worry, it was a very boring fight. I made my way over to Deputy Beagle, and asked him about Egghead, and threatened him into telling me where he was before releasing him. He told me to go to Novac through Nipton, so I did, and I was greeted by Four Eyes on my way through Nipton, so I ignored him. And on my way out of Nipton, I was ambushed by some gunslingers, so I killed them mercilessly, and picked up this 9mm submachine gun. After that, I continued to make my way into Novac, and even ran into some NCR Rangers on the way, with some totally unpredictable voice lines that no one has ever heard before.
Patrolling the Mojave almost makes you wish for a nuclear winter.
Patrolling the Mojave almost makes you wish for a nuclear winter.
Anyway, I continued to make my way to Novac, and just as I arrived, my game crashed, and I was back in Prim, being stared at by Deputy Beagle's stupid face. So I decided to take a shortcut. Bad idea. So let's make this quick. I got bummed by a grenade launcher, killed them, found Prim Pass, picked up a plasma pistol, and got bummed by a Deathclaw, and shit myself. Luckily I play on mute because I screamed like a little bitch. Could not kill the Deathclaw. So I left, and went the long way around, and discovered Hidden Valley on the way, and finally discovered Novac, where, in exchange for information on Egghead, I was told of an old rocket test site, occupied by ghouls, and it was my job to clear them out. So I discovered the Repconn test site, and made my way inside, where I was told by a guy on an intercom to go meet them. And after clearing out the ghouls inside, I found the room. Once inside, I discovered more ghouls, but friendly ghouls. So I spoke with their leader Jason, who asked me to get rid of his demons. So I came to the conclusion. He was an emo. I agreed and went to the basement, where I quickly discovered he was not an emo, and they were actually demons, and each one of them made me shit myself in fear. But of course, they were not actually demons. They were Nightkin, a type of super mutant, and after a while, I had successfully killed all of them, clearing out the basement. So I spoke with Jason, who told me to work with Chris to help them achieve their great journey, to get on a rocket, and to fuck off somewhere in space. But at least that would be getting rid of them. So I agreed to help Chris. He told me I needed to retrieve Isotope 239 and a set of thrust control modules. So firstly, I retrieved the isotope off a dead guy's body in a spacesuit, and I picked up a handy perk. So I ate it. In return, this healed me up a little bit, and after that, I was off to the Gibson scrapyard to retrieve the thrust module. But I had to buy them off of old lady Gibson, so I used Riz to lower the price to 250 caps, and returned back to Chris with the parts and to launch the rockets. So I went up to the viewing deck and initiated the launch. I didn't know it at the time, but I could have made it so the rockets crashed into each other, sending them on a different type of great journey, which you best believe I would have done. But instead, I watched their boring takeoff. Now that the ghouls were cleared out, I went back to Novac and spoke with Manny, who told me about Egghead. Now we travelled up to Boulder City, my next lead. So I made my way to Boulder City and spoke with the NCR Ranger outside. He told me some great cons were inside, threatening to kill some NCR hostages, if not let free from Boulder City. So I changed the topic onto my platinum chip, as that's all I give a fuck about, and he allowed me to go speak with their leader. He instantly recognized me and told me the platinum chip was with Egghead on the strip, my next location. So I smooth talked the cons into giving up the hostages, and he gave me Egghead's lighter to shove up his ass. And I talked the NCR into letting the Great Khans free. On my way to the strip, I picked up a hunting rifle and finally made it to Freeside Eastgate. Once I was in Freeside, I tested my new rifle out on a thug. It passed, and I went to Mick and Ralph's to buy a fake passport. This would allow me to get access to the strip for only 500 caps, and after being busted up by a thug, giving me serious migraines for the next 30 minutes, I presented my passport to the guards, allowing me access to the strip. Once I was at the strip, I was greeted by Victor, inviting me to go speak with Mr. House, but first I had to take care of some business. So, I headed to the Tops Casino, and finally caught up with Egghead. So let's do this again, ready? Twat. No one shoots me in the face and gets away with it. So anyway, I took my platinum chip back and headed up to his apartment, where going round to the back of it, you can find this. Yes man, this robot can help you take over the strip, and all you have to do is kill Mr. House. And I like killing. So, I headed to the Lucky 38 and spoke to Mr. House, refused to give him the chip, and then killed every single robot in sight, and made my way to where Mr. House actually is. And I'm gonna be honest, he looked like he smoked cigarettes from the age of 2. But my Pip-Boy was low on battery. So I hit the switch, plugged in my Pip-Boy, and I was back to Yes Man. I told him to join me at the Lucky 38, and he spasmed his way into the machine. And shortly after, he gave me a demonstration on what happens if you try to breathe in North Korea. And I was off to go meet with the Legion in Cottonwood Cove. Some guy asked me if I was ready to travel upriver with him, and without question, I agreed. I met with the Legion's leader, Kaiser, or Caesar, I don't fucking know, who asked me to blow up Mr. House's shit now that he was dead. So I went into the vault and killed every Protectron in sight. And I finally made my way to the army of Securitrons, where I did the exact opposite of what the Legion wanted. Upgraded them. And next I was off to greet the Boomers, who blow up people on sight. And I spoke to George, who offered me a way to get across for some cash. But I ain't paying shit, so I just ran. God damn it was enough to give your grandparents flashbacks at Nam, but it worked. I approached the gate and they agreed to let me in. I spoke to their leader, but I hated him now, so I left. Next on the list was the Brotherhood of Steel. So I went to the bunker in Hidden Valley and spoke with their leader, who put a dog collar on me and got me to kill some ranger. So now I hated them as well. But they could offer me something. Something I wanted. Power armor. This was a mistake. The quest took me 3 hours, a quarter of the entire run, spent on some stupid armor that's not even... So anyway, now I have power armor. After that, I was off to the Silver Rush in Freeside. After heading in, you accept this quest, giving you some expensive combat armor for free, and let this unsuspecting gentleman in. And... free stuff. So after multiple trips back and forth from Mick and Mouse, I repaired all my armor and had a little under 5,000 caps. And I was off to Red Rock Canyon to meet with the Great Khans. And after a small chat, I decided to like them. The cannibals seemed nice enough. After that, I went and greeted the Emerters and the White Glove Society on the strip, and returned to Yes Man. He gave me an override control module and sent me to the El Dorado substation. Once I was there, they told me to stay away, or I'd get in trouble or something. I don't know, I couldn't hear him over my hunting rifle. So I ran into the station, ran back out, threw a grenade at their feet, and no more people in the station. So I went over to the terminal and installed the override chip. After that, I went back and told Yes Man, and the attack on Hoover Dam had begun. Once I was at the dam, I began working my way through the NCR Rangers and gained the Lord Death perk. What that is, I don't know, but it sounds cool. And together with my robot friend and my rocket launcher, I made my way into the offices. Once inside, I made my way onto the roof and lightly tapped this ranger with a bullet and made my way into the dam, where I began to 1v1 a ranger in power armor and absolutely obliterated the other when he tried to get involved. And with his friend following him shortly after, I installed the override chip, agreed to release an army of Securitrons, activated the generators, and made my way out of the offices, through Hoover Dam, and into the Legate's camp. Once in the camp, I had to deal with the guards, which I solved by fucking exploding them, and made my way over to the Legate. I tried to fight him to begin with, but yeah, fuck that. So with speech at 100, I talked him out of it and took care of the remaining guards. I made my way to the gate, engaging the cutscene with the NCR. And spoke with the NCR General, and told him my robots would fuck him and his squad with a rocket barrage, and tossed him off the side of the dam, completing Fallout New Vegas in 2023. This playthrough was 12 hours long, and it took even longer to edit this video, so I would appreciate any support you'd be willing to give. However, this was also my first playthrough of Fallout New Vegas, and shortly after, I began my second. And I got revenge on that stupid